So right here it's section 3.5. We're jumping back to a section from chapter 3. It's called Arithmetic Sequences as Linear Functions. So a sequence is simply a list of numbers. Right here there's a list of numbers. The first number is 3, second number is 6, 9, 12, 15. And this is what we call a finite, right? Finite sequence. Why finite? Because it only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers, and that's it. It does not continue forever. And over here we have an infinite sequence. So remember, a sequence is just a list of numbers, but this one's infinite. The list right here where you have dot, 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 or more than 3 dots, that just simply means that the list continues to go on and on and on, right? Now, a sequence is a list of numbers. An infinite sequence is a list of numbers that continues forever. Now, arithmetic is a certain type of list of numbers. Now, what do I mean by that? Right here, there's a 3, and then there's a 6, and then there's a 9. It's not just any list of numbers. It's a specific type. What's happening between these numbers?
Adding by 3.
You're adding 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. Plus 3, and that's it. Over here, 6 plus 3, 9 plus 3, plus 3. Plus 3 would be 18. Plus 3 would be 21. Plus 3 would be 24. And this list continues forever. So arithmetic actually means it's a list of numbers that has a common difference. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is very important. It's common difference, and it's denoted by the letter D. Okay? Common difference. Now, what do I mean by common difference? Between 3 and 6, the common difference is 3. Between 6 and 9, common difference is 3. So an arithmetic sequence is a list of numbers that has a common difference between all of its numbers. Now, how do you find that common difference D? It says down here, to find the common difference D, take a sub 2 minus a sub 1. Now, it says right here, a sub 2 is the second term, a sub 1 is the first term. That's pretty straightforward. A sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3, a sub 4, a sub 5. And we'll get to that in a little while. But right now, you could find the common difference by taking your a sub 2 term minus your a sub 1 term. So you could take 6 minus 3, and that'll give you your common difference, which is 3. I know you're thinking, so what? I could already see it. It's easy. The difference between 3 and 6 is 3. But it's very important that we understand this. Not only that, I would like you guys to copy down this. Write down common difference D is equal to a sub n minus a sub n minus 1. Write that down in your notes. Because it's not just your second term minus your first term. It could be any term. Now that's what a sub n means. A sub n means any term. Minus a sub n minus 1, that just means the number right before it. Okay? So write that down. The common difference D is a sub n minus a sub n minus 1. And once again, you could say a sub n is just any number. And a sub n minus 1, that's just the number before. So what this means is that I could go up here to my list, and if I know it's arithmetic, then I could take any number, like pick one number right here. Which one? 12. If I subtract this one minus, so 12, take away the one before it. 12 take away 9, that's 3. Or 9 take away 6, that's 3. Or 15 take away 12, that's 3. So the common difference will always be able to be found by picking a number and subtracting the number right before it. How does that sound now? Yeah? Okay. It'll all make sense once we practice some more of these problems. Let's move on to the next slide. So on this next slide, we have a couple of examples. Determine whether the sequence is arithmetic sequence or not. Okay? So look at this number, 3, 8, 13, 18. What do you guys say? Is this arithmetic? And remember, arithmetic has a common difference. Up here it says, arithmetic sequences have a common difference. What is that? D? D equals any number minus the number before it. Okay, once again, any number minus the number before it. So right here, if I take 8 and I subtract 3, what do I get? 5. How about 18 take away 13? What do I get? 5. How about 13 take away 8? What do I get? 5. So we just checked all of them, right? Is there a common difference? Yeah. What's the common difference? 5. So what does that mean? They're telling us, is it arithmetic? We say yes, it's arithmetic. It's an arithmetic sequence. There's other type of sequences. There's geometric sequences, which we'll deal with next semester. But right now it's arithmetic. And when I say is it an arithmetic sequence, it's as simple as this. Is there a common difference in all the terms? Right? So is this one arithmetic? What do you guys say? Yeah? Why is that? What's 11 take away 7?
4.
4? How about 15 take away 11?
4.
How about 19 take away 15?
4.
4. So there is a common difference. What's a common difference? 4. Okay, so that means yes, it's arithmetic. Okay, right here, find the next 3 terms of each sequence. Okay, so if it's arithmetic, we'll be able to find the next 3 terms. So what's the common difference on this guy right here? Subtracting 2. Negative 2 is a common difference, right? Why is that? Because if you pick any number, 15, take away 17, what's that? Negative 2. 19, take away 21, what's that? Negative 2. 17, take away 19, that's negative 2. So the common difference is negative 2. So if you want to find the next 3 terms, by the way, just for funsies here, let's label these. This is a sub 1 because that's your first term. A sub 2 is your second term. A sub 3 is your third term. A sub 4 is your fourth term. This is just notation. So if you wanted your a sub 5 term, what would your a sub 5 term be if the common difference is subtracting 2? That would be 13. And how about a sub 6? I'm sorry. What would a sub 6 be? 11. And how about a sub 7? That'd be 9. There you go. So this is actually the best way to write your answer on an open response test. A sub 5 is 13. A sub 6 is 11. What this is saying, this notation is saying that the 6th number on your list will be 11. Bless you. The 7th number on your list, the 7th number, not first, second, third, or fourth, but the 7th is going to be 9 on your list. Okay? Let's take a look at this one over here. Go ahead and find the next 3 terms. And you know what? Maybe if we look up here, I wrote it again. The common difference is simply any number minus the previous number. Okay, so keep that in mind. The common difference is any number minus the previous number. But it has to be true in all of them in order for it to be arithmetic. So once again, you want to find the next 3 terms. Let's label what we have so far. A sub 1, A sub 2, A sub 3, A sub 4. So we want the next 3 terms. I want A sub 5, A sub 6, and A sub 7. All this is notation. Of course, if you're absent today, you come in tomorrow, you'll be thinking, what the heck? A sub 6? What does that mean, right? But it's just the order of the numbers that pop out on your list. So what's the common difference, guys? It's negative 4. Okay, if you say 4, it's going to be incorrect. Okay? Because if you say 4, then you're telling me that 9 plus 4 is 5. That's incorrect. The common difference is negative 4. Once again, to find the common difference, you take, as I said up here on the notes, take any number minus the previous number. Okay, keep that in mind. Any number minus the previous number. So you have to do, to find the common difference, the difference will be 5 take away 9, right? So the answer is negative 4. That's a common difference. So your D is negative 4. So if you wanted to find your 5th term, what you do is take your 4th term, which is negative 3, and what's negative 3 minus 4? Negative 7, right? So there's your 5th term. And then for the next one, it's going to be that negative 7 and again minus 4. What's negative 7 minus 4? Negative 11, okay? And for the next term, you're going to take that negative 11 and again the common difference is minus 4. So what's your negative 15 is your 7th term. Make sense? So when they say find the next 3 terms, it's great for you to write this notation. I mean, yeah, you could say the next 3 terms are negative 7, negative 11, negative 15. But it's better that you start getting used to the notation. A sub 5 is negative 7, A sub 6 is negative 11, A sub 7 is negative 15. This last one, let's find the next three terms. Why do I put an A sub 1 on top of the 3? Because A sub 1 is what? The first term on this list. That's the first number you see on this list. Okay? So whatever first number is there, you put it A sub 1. A sub 2, what does that really mean? The second number on your list. A sub 3, what does that really mean? The third number on your list. That's right. A sub 4, fourth number on your list. Okay, so they want the next three terms, so they really want the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th. Let's first find out the common difference. And the common difference will be pick any number and subtract the one right before it. So I want to put, the common difference will be negative 3 minus 0. So what's negative 3 minus 0? Negative 3. Ah, nice to know you guys are awake on a Monday. So the common difference is negative 3, right? And it doesn't matter which ones you used. If you go negative 6 minus a negative 3, that'll still be negative 3. If you go 0 minus 3, that'll still be negative 3. There's a common difference of negative 3. So if I want to find the fifth term, I want to take my fourth term, negative 6, and then put the common difference there, which is negative 3, just minus 3. That's negative 9. And then negative 9 minus 3, that's negative 12. Negative 12 minus 3, that's negative 15. So those are our next three terms on that sequence, on that arithmetic sequence. And that's how you do. Let's move on to more fun type questions. This is a huge, huge part of your notes, guys. If you're watching this at home for the first time, hit pause and copy all this down. I want to hit pause right here in class. Let's copy this down. Let's understand. Let's first understand what we're copying, yeah? A sub n. What does A sub n mean, guys? It means any number you want. The nth number. So this could be A sub 13 if I wanted it to be. That means the 13th number. It could be A sub 51. It could be the 51st number. A sub n is just, if you want to find any number you want, this is how to find it. This is a formula here that you need to memorize. To find any number you want, what you're going to do is take A sub 1, which is your first term, plus parenthesis, and on the inside of the parenthesis, you're going to put n minus 1. Now, what is n? It's the term you're looking for. So let's say you wanted to find the 53rd term of a list. It would say A sub 53, and if you're looking for the 53rd term, then that's the number you're going to plug in right here, 53. And D is what we've been doing, common difference. And how do you get D? You take a number and you subtract the number right before it. That's the common difference. So you take all these numbers, you plug it in, and it'll give you the equation that'll produce any number you want. The 53rd term, the 70th term. So again, A sub n simply represents any term. A sub 11, that would mean the 11th term. A sub 25, that would mean the 25th term of your list. A sub 107, that's the 107th term on your list. Okay, so A sub n is just any number you want. And what we're doing here is memorizing a formula that'll be able to help us find, that'll specifically help us find the number that we want. If you want the 15th number, you could use this formula to find it. First, copy it, try to memorize it, and then we'll see the application of it in a couple of seconds. So let's take a look at this example right here, guys. Please copy this down in your notebooks. It says, write an equation of the arithmetic sequence 3, 8, 13, and 18. Well, first, let's identify the common difference, D. So what is the common difference, guys? 5. Here's your A sub 1 term, your second term, your third term, your fourth term. Now, they want us to, we already know that to find the difference, the common difference, you pick any number and you subtract the number before it. So if I think about 13 take away 8, we know that the common difference is 5. Excellent. And you didn't have to use 13 and 8. You could have done 8 take away 3. You could have done 18 take away 13. The difference is 5. That's why it's called common difference, because it's everywhere. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we need to do is memorize the arithmetic sequence general rule. And the general rule is the a sub nth term will be your first term, a sub 1 is your first term, plus parenthesis, and then inside of the parenthesis it's going to be n minus 1 times the common difference d. Okay, that's your a sub nth rule. We have to have this memorized. I'm going to make that n, a sub n, I'm going to make that n red because over here the n is also going to be red because it's the same exact number. Okay, so if they want the a sub nth rule, the formula or the equation that produces this actual equation, it will be a sub n equals, what's a sub 1, guys? It's 3. So you really have 3 plus parenthesis n minus 1, close parenthesis. What's the common difference? 5, right? Ladies and gentlemen, this is your a sub nth rule. Now we could simplify this a sub nth rule. All right, let's simplify it. What do I mean by that? Let's do distributive property and combining like terms. So if I take this multiplication of 5 and I distribute it to both terms, I'm going to have 5n minus 5. And of course, I still have the plus sign and I have a 3. So my a sub nth rule, a sub n, will be, I could combine like terms here, the 3 with the minus 5. You do this in your head. What's 3 minus 5 in your head? 2, negative 2. So you really have 5n minus 2. And ladies and gentlemen, this is your a sub nth rule. Now, I don't know if you guys completely understand what we just found. We found the equation that actually produces this sequence. Okay, we found the equation that actually produces this sequence. Check this out. If I said, what's your first term? What do you guys say? What do you guys say? What's your first term? 3. Now, let's think about this equation that actually produces this. A sub 1, think about that. Check this out. A sub 1 equals 5 times 1 minus 2. So what is your first term? Well, that's 5 times 1 minus 2. What's 5 times 1? 5. What's 5 minus 2? 3. You see how that first term's 3? This is the machine that produced the 3. Guess what? If I try to do a sub 2, if I go a sub 2 and I plug it in, let me do it in black here, stay color coordinated. 5 times, let's plug in a 2, minus 2. What's 5 times 2, guys? 10. And what's 10 minus 2? 8. So our second term, our a sub 2 term is what? 8. As you could see, our second term really is 8. So I don't know if you guys understand. We found the machine that produces this list, right? Let's say I wanted to find the fourth term, which we clearly know is what? 18, right? The red dot's right there. The fourth term is 18. If I wanted to find the fourth term with this machine, I plug in a sub 4, which means the fourth term will be, what's 5 times 4? 20. What's 20 minus 2? 18. You see how the fourth term is 18? Yeah? What if I told you, I want you to find the 50th term, or even the 100th term? If I say find the 100th term, you're probably thinking, that's nuts. I can't find the 100th term. Right, this is my first one, 3. Plus 5 is 8. Plus 5 is 13. Plus 5 is 18. Plus 5 is 23. That's barely the 5th term. Plus 5 is 28. That's barely the 6th term. Imagine going all the way to the 100th term. That's going to be a crazy huge number. You could find it if you had a lot of time by continuing to add 5, add 5, add 5, and you keep doing that 100 times so you could get to the 100th term. But if you know the general rule, you could just say, okay, I could find the 100th term by simply doing a sub 100 is going to be, what's the work for a sub 100? It's 5 times what? 5 times 100 minus 2. So that's really 500 minus 2. That's really 498. Ladies and gentlemen, the 100th term on this list is 498. Isn't that amazing? Right? Yeah? Okay, so first term, second term, third term, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. If you kept going to 100, your 100th term would actually be the number 498. I think that's pretty amazing. I don't know about you guys. So it's very important that we memorize the general rule for the arithmetic sequences. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus parenthesis n minus 1 times a common difference d. So let's try it with this one over here. Let's write down the general rule again. What is the general rule? It's a sub n equals what? Your first term. What's your first term? A sub 1, and then you have a plus sign, parenthesis, n minus 1, close parenthesis, times a common difference d. You have to have that memorized. Okay, that's a big part of today's lesson. So let's plug in what we know. So it's going to be a sub n. It stays a sub n. A sub 1. What's your a sub 1 term? A sub 1 is negative 11. So there's negative 11. And then you have the plus sign. And then you have parenthesis. Do we know n? No. That's really the nth number. If you want the 53rd number, then you will plug in a 53 there later once you already have the form, the equation. But anyways, it's n minus 1. And then the common difference. What is the common difference? So I never found that out. The common difference is what? Again, you take any number you want and subtract the number before it. So if I go negative 15 minus negative 11, negative 15 minus negative 11, what is the common difference, guys? That's really negative 4. Thank you very much. So the common difference is negative 4. Again, you take a number and subtract the one right before it. So negative 15 minus a negative 11, it's really negative 15 plus 11, which gives you a negative 4. So the common difference that belongs on the outside of the parentheses is negative 4 that you're going to be multiplying by. You have to put it in parentheses so you remember that you're multiplying. So this is a general rule, but of course you could simplify it. So distribute. You're going to have negative 4n, you're going to have plus 4, and then you're going to bring down the plus and the negative 11 that's in front. So your a sub nth rule is going to be the negative 4n, and then do this in your head, negative 11 plus 4. What's negative 11 plus 4? Negative 7, right? So our general rule is a sub n equals negative 4n minus 7. Now, if you want to test it out, right? If, let's say you're not too sure, you're like, I don't know if this is actually correct. If you want to test it out, all you have to do is plug in the number 1 and see if it actually gives you the first term. Or you want to test it out, plug in the number 3 and see if it actually gives you negative 19, the third term, right? So let's just for funsies, let's check the third term, which is negative 19. Let's plug in the number 3. So again, a sub 3 simply means the third term. So a sub 3 is going to be negative 4 times 3 minus 7. What's negative 4 times 3? Negative 12. What's negative 12 minus 7? Negative 19. Does it work? Absolutely. So a sub 3, we plugged in 3 and we really did get our third term. So again, this is a beautiful thing because this general rule, this simplified general rule is the equation that'll give you any number you want. You want the 87th term? What could you do to find the 87th term? You could plug in 87 right in here, and negative 4 times 87, then minus 7, that'll be the 87th term. It's amazing if you really think about it. This is a super long video. I apologize. Let's move on to the last one. Now, you guys don't have to copy this down. This is on video. Tamika is stacking boxes of tissue for a store display. Each row of tissues has 3 fewer boxes than the row below. The first row has 30 boxes of tissue. So imagine that, guys. Our row 1, so row number 1, it has 30 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not going to do it, right? But it's 30 boxes. Okay, our row 2 says has 3 fewer, right? So if we go to row number 2, you have 1, 2, okay, so it has 3 fewer, that would be 27. 27 boxes. Okay, so instead of drawing it out, let's actually make a sequence. So what's our first number on our sequence? 30, because the first row has 30. What's the next number on our sequence? She's stacking it up like a pyramid, guys. And it says on the word problem that she has 3 fewer on the next one. So what's the next one? 27. And then the next one? 24. And then the next one? 21. And it keeps going until she gets to the very top, which probably just has 1 box, correct? Anyway, the first thing they ask for is to write a function to represent the arithmetic sequence. Okay, so what's the common difference, guys? Common difference is? -3. It says she has 3 fewer on the next row, 3 fewer on the next row. So the common difference is -3. Let's write down the general rule, which we should all start having memorized by now. General rule is a sub n equals what? Anybody? What's the first thing that I write? A sub 1, my first number, correct? And then plus, it's very important there's a plus, and then parenthesis. And then inside the parenthesis is n minus 1, and then you close the parenthesis, and on the outside it's times d. Okay, we have to have this memorized. Okay, we said a sub 1 is our first term. There's our second, there's our third, there's our fourth. So let's come up with the general rule. General rule is a sub n equals a sub 1, which is what? 30. Okay, and then we have a plus sign, parenthesis, n minus 1. Do we have a common difference? Absolutely. What do I put there? And put it in parentheses. Okay, that way you'll know that it's multiplication. If you don't put parentheses, you're going to think it's -3, which would be incorrect. So let's simplify it by distributing -3 times n, -3n, -3 times -1, +3. Bring down the 30. And of course you have a sub n equals that stuff. We're going to combine like terms. There's a 30 and a +3. What's 30 plus 3? 33. So you really have a sub n equals -3n plus 33. This is your general rule. Okay, if you wanted to test it, you could plug in the number 1, which would be the very first number on your list. So if I plug in the number 1 in here, what should my answer be? 30, because that's the first number on your list. So if I do 1 right here, what's -3 times 1? It's -3. What's -3 plus 33? It is 30. If I wanted to further double check, I could plug in a 2 right there. It should give me 27. Or plug in a 4, it should give me 21. So that's one answer. It says, write the function that represents the arithmetic sequence. And then how many boxes will there be in the 10th row? Well, then all you got to do to find that out is simply plug in 10. -3 times 10 plus 33. So a sub 10, that's really the 10th row. That's going to be -30 plus 33. And -30 plus 33 is 3. So on the 10th row, there's only 3 boxes.